appreciate the comments of Senator Friesen, Senator Williams, Senator Stinner. Obviously, they've taken it back up to the macro level discussion of this bill, the importance of this bill to our economy, for the thousands of DACA youth that are in our state that are doing things the right way, that are getting an education, that are going to be net positives to our state for decades to come. If we embrace their potential, embrace their education that they've received. Many of these youth that I've met since we started working on this over the interim have started businesses, they're entrepreneurs, they are, quite frankly, amazing individuals that we are blessed to have here in our state. But we do need to address kind of concerns that have been brought up that take us a little further into the weeds. And I just want to clarify and make sure that that we get as much on the record here as possible. First of all, I did mention that Section 202C2B of the Federal Real ID Act, the law which Nebraska implemented by enacting Section Statute 60-484.04 LB623, which was Senator Fisher's bill. Clearly, in her statement of intent, as we've seen, says the intent is to adopt the federal document list that applicants need to present proof of, among other things, lawful status. There is nothing in the Nebraska legislative history, in the committee, or in the floor, if you read through those transcripts, that indicate that any senator contemplated any meaning of lawful status other than the one provided in the Real ID Act. And at the time, the Director of Motor Vehicles, Bev Neff, specifically referenced the Real ID Act when talking about LB215 and said that that language is required to meet substantial compliance with the Real ID Act. So we can go back and try to have a little bit of revisionist history on the transcripts, but that just is not there. And then to correct Senator McCoy, he said we are the only state that talks about lawful status when it comes to driver's licenses. That's just not accurate. As a matter of fact, we have Arkansas uses the term lawful status and issues driver's licenses to deferred action. Delaware uses the term lawful status and issues driver's licenses to deferred action. Washington, D.C. uses the term driver's licenses and uses the term lawful status and issues driver's licenses to recipients of deferred action. Hawaii uses the term lawful status. Indiana uses the term legal status, so they don't use lawful presence or lawful status. They use a completely different term, legal status. Iowa uses the term lawful status, and South Dakota uses the term lawful status. Maryland uses the term lawful status, and West Virginia uses the term legal status. Again, not utilizing those terms. So Senator McCoy's assertion that we're the only state just isn't right. And if anyone's interested in seeing the statutory citations from all these states, I'm happy to provide those. I'll send them here by my light, so if anyone would like to come over and see those. But the fact of the matter is, again, lawful presence is an immigration status component. My understanding is if you are not lawfully, do not have lawful presence for more than a year, then there's action that's taken for purposes of deportation. We are talking specifically about driver's license issuance, and utilizing the term lawful status aligns us with the Federal Real ID Act, and that's the direction we need to go. We've gotten a lot of it. Actually, Senator McAllister's staff has pulled together great information between the current Director of the Department of Motor Vehicles, Director Bev Reeks, who is formerly Bev Neff, the Director of the Department of Motor Vehicles under Governor Heinemann. And I'll start through this, and if I run out of time, we'll continue to talk about it, because I think Senator Murante mentioned the concerns about registering to vote. But it's important for us to know the processes that the Department of Motor Vehicles goes through. Every applicant is required to state if he or she is not a citizen. The DMV examining staff knows a person answering the question is telling the truth based on the identification documents presented. A citizen would provide a birth certificate, passport, or other approved document. A non-citizen would provide a document issued to him or her by U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. The DMV's licensing system is programmed to remove the voter registration data fields when an applicant indicates his or her citizenship status. This prevents any opportunity for the Department of Motor Vehicle examiner to enter data registration for non-citizen assistance by mistake. If the person is attempting to use immigration and Citizenship and Immigration Services documents and...
Senator?
Thank you.